into whatever comes through for everybody. So all the zodiac signs will obviously be part of this at some point, but this is not so much about astrology. It's more about really having a little conversation with the cards. There is no comments, there is no questions. If you want to be in the chat, then you have to be a member. I am not doing chat for free because it's a lot of distraction. As some people and readers might know, it's very difficult to keep track of everything, and I'm the type of reader, so now we got it. I'm the type of reader who is really concentrating on the cards and on the pictures, so to get a better insight into a situation or into our conversation with the cards. So that's why the chat is not open. I just lit this candle and we're gonna clean the energies out a little bit, and then we're gonna start right away. This is a timeless reading. You can always use this reading whenever it is helpful for you to unfold maybe layers of consciousness that you are not super aware of, or just as a creative help for self-reflection. And let me assist you in maybe finding new pathways on your spiritual journey with the help of the cards. All right, let's start. There is full moon energy going on right now and an eclipse energy going on right now in Pisces, which is quite intense. As I said, it doesn't have to be a reading that you're watching right at this eclipse, but this is what's also enhancing, I want to say, this reading, of course. And we start with, oh, Wheel of Fortune, wonderful. So the Wheel of Fortune is really a moment where we are letting go and ready to really listen to where the universe is directing us. This is a card of luck. This is a card of good fortune. This is a card of also burning of karma, I want to say. And we're at the point with the Wheel of Fortune where we kind of let go of the wheel. We let go of the driving wheel, we let go of the steering wheel, and we let higher powers take over. And we trust that higher powers really assist us in our growth, in our development into a better situation, and in our development as a person. This is, as I said, I cannot say this enough, a lucky card, especially in this deck. It's very good fortune, and it is really designed, this Wheel of Fortune, to help us move into a direction that is beneficial to our journey and our development. So we're at a really big moving point here with this card. And it might feel like we don't have much control over a situation, which is actually quite refreshing sometimes and quite freeing, I want to say. Oh, wow. We are in a big switch moment here. It might feel for some people that we are really in this quantum leap type of energy, or in this shifting realities type of energy, because we do have the manifestation card here as above, so below. And that's one of the most, or the most powerful, I want to say, cards in the Crowley deck, which really gives us the power and also the allowance, I want to say, to really bring towards the material what we have imagined for ourselves to create. So this is a card of ultimate creation, a card of ultimate manifestation, a card of serious work with the universe. And we have two of these cards. So we really might have a huge breakthrough, a huge moment of a reality switch, I want to say, and not just a switch. We have been asking, maybe, we have been asking, we have been affirming, we have been dreaming up the reality that we want to create. And now the universe is really stepping in and is like, okay, this is the way. There you go. This is the direction that you've called in, and that helps you to really be the bigger version of yourself, the better version of yourself. The Wheel of Fortune is not the end of the journey. That would be the World card, but it is halfway through. So it is this halfway moment where something is unlocking, where we are like, oh yes, this is, I can tell, I can feel that something is unlocking in my reality, that something is really moving, that something is really switching into a new destiny, into a new direction, or into my destiny, into my fortune, into my luck, into my growth. And everything that I've called in and thought it could be possible with the work together, by letting go of control, by letting go of and trusting that things are possible, we see this shift, we feel this shift, we can experience this shift. It's really, really big. With this Pisces full moon eclipse, of course, this is a pivotal moment. The pivotal moment where we let go of everything that is attached to the ego in an unhealthy way. And this card combination, the Wheel of Fortune, I'm getting such goosebumps, is very much speaking about that, very much speaking about letting go of everything that is attached to an unhealthy ego and trusting that we are guided and safe by powers outside of us, and that we don't have to control a situation, that we don't have to grip too fast or too strong onto what we really imagine our lives to be. So we are really in a very, very serious moment of trusting and co-creating, and also letting go of the reins, the reins of the ego. Even though the ego, of course, created the desire in the first place to begin with, but right now it's really like you've done everything that you could do. You know, you're at a point where there's nothing left that you can do really out of an ego place. Now is the time to really trust and let go. Wow, the Death card. Yes, we love that. This is very intense. We have two major arcana and this very special non-categorized card in the Crowley deck, which is really the ultimate manifestation card. And the Death card is really speaking about the process of all the things leaving our lives, leaving our reality, leaving our also emotional reality, leaving our spiritual reality, that don't have a place anymore, that have to go. That starts with thought patterns, that starts with maybe just cleaning out the closet, maybe just, throwing away some clothes. That starts with very organically people, places, things moving away from us that are just dead for our development, that are dead for our destiny, for our journey, which doesn't mean they are literally dead. Nobody needs to die just because of the Death card. In reality, it's more about metaphorical death, of course. And what we learn with the Death card is that this change and this transformation is very organic, because death does not stop, is not stopped by anyone. Everybody and everything at some point has a moment of transformation where, I want to say, molecules rearrange themselves. And that's why it's a very organic process and a very, very natural process as well. And we cannot forget that all the things that brought us, things, people, places that brought us to this situation, to this moment of time, were part of the soil we were growing out of, and some parts have to die again to go back to the soil, so we have more fruitful ground that we can build upon, which is also when you have bodies that decay, and then flowers can grow out of it in certain circumstances. So this is just a very beautiful metaphor for us developing new soil that we can grow new things out of. And these new things, these new spirits, these new parts of our soul that want to show themselves or grow or develop are represented here by these type of spiritual or spirit beings or ghost beings that are creating new circles, new cycles, and new karmic ties that are directly tied to this symbol of death. At the same time, the death card in the Crowley deck, it's very strong in its symbolism. We do have Scorpio, of course. It's a Scorpio card. It's a Scorpio symbolism because it is about very deep emotional soul transformation as well. We do have the fish and the snake, who are also about life and evolution and transformation. We do have another Scorpio symbol, which is the eagle here in the background, that is speaking more of the spirit side that is developing forward. We have a rose here that is also speaking about the beauty, of course, of transformation, and at the same time maybe the pain or the sting that is also maybe part of having things, places, people, metaphorically, not literally, in our environment die off. But this is a very necessary moment for actual change, which is the Two of Pentacles. And this is not an ego-driven thing, as I said before. This is not out of I gotta cut these people off, or I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to be around this anymore. I'm gonna just run away. This is not running away from a situation. This is transforming your situation and inviting in very material change, which is the Two of Pentacles here. Very real change by trusting and calling in all the divine powers that you have available. And this is a release. This is a death moment that is a relief and a release as well. Some people might know who have lost people in their surroundings, who have maybe had people surrounding them who were suffering a lot and were very sick, and then were actually released into death, and it was a relief for everybody. So this is, as I said, I'm not talking about literal death here. I'm talking about getting a relief by things, people, circumstances, situations, parts of the self having to fall away very naturally, where we don't really have to do the work anymore, because it seems like we've done enough work. This is also a moment where I think still, even though we might feel a very sudden switch with the Wheel of Fortune, it can be a very sudden switch, we might still experience a longer period of transformation afterwards. So the switch that puts us into this new path, or onto this new path, into this new place. The afterbirth of this, or the after death of this, will be a process. Of course, the environment has to adjust. And we can already tell that we are in a really completely new path here, a new direction. And we can also tell that we are gonna be guided through. We do have a High Priestess here, another Major Arcana card. And this is a Pisces card. And this is a card that also connects with the Pisces eclipse, of course. So this is a very, very spiritual time. This is a very, very sensitive time also, to stay flexible, to stay light-footed, I want to say, to stay flexible on how to react to this new situation developing or changing or transforming, and to have the knowledge also that the change is inevitable, the change is positive, the change is constant, and the change is a long-term process. Even though, as I said before, we feel a sudden switch maybe. Princess of Pentacles, again, a card of change, a card of very physical change. This is also a double earth energy, as well as the two of Pentacles. The Princess of Pentacles, the princesses are earth energy, the pentacles are earth energy, which means we see the results in our everyday. We see the world around us changing. We see the people around us changing. We already see the results. We see the results coming in. And this is, of course, at the same time, a moment where things, people, places, and energies, frequencies that are no longer alive within us have to fall away for good. The death card is very often a for good type of energy. We're like, this is it. This is dead now. Dead and done. This has to die. This part of my life, this part of myself needs to be cleaned out, or is cleaning itself out right now. And I kind of want to say the trash is taking itself out. And I think it really is that type of moment. It's like you've invited higher powers to work with you, to help you clean the trash out. You know what I mean? And you've invited higher powers to ask the trash to take itself out. And I think that's what's happening right now. Wow, this is very, very powerful. I think this is what I'm going to call this reading. The trash is taking itself out. I like it. So yeah, this was my little tap in for today. I hope you can work with this. I hope this is beneficial to you. And you can check out the description box for all the information that you need or that you might be interested in. My name is Stefanie, and I am here on the YouTube for quite some time, on and off. I'm also an artist, I'm also a musician, so that's why my time sometimes is a little limited, but I'm trying to stay connected and in touch and as present, as positive as present and positive as possible here on this channel. And yeah. I thought today I'm just doing a little freestyle type of thing, not too rehearsed and not too, you know, performative, because I want to kind of not go that route on YouTube, which I totally get the tarot readers who do that, and I appreciate them and they're doing a great job, but I feel like this is, for me, just a little easier to stay a real person. And I also have the feeling that people are kind of in need for a little more of a real connection here on social media that is not too artificial. where you can actually tell a person from artificial intelligence. Yeah, that's something that needed to come out, but that's why I'm doing this in the end, this disclaimer, this little disclaimer thing. So you can, you know, click away if this is not interesting to you. But yes, this reading immensely intense, I want to say. And it feels like this very trusting moment where we see like, oh yes, everything I've been asking for, everything I've been begging for, everything I've been working hard towards, everything I've been fighting for, I've done everything I can. And finally, when I let go and let in the help from the outside, from the above, from the below, whatever you connect to, things are actually switching in an instant. As I said, after birth, after death, takes some time. Change might take some time to materialize, but the switch is instant. Okay, I will close the energies. Thank you so much for being here. As I said, comments for members. It's very distracting to me. I'm kind of too focused on the cards to be able to really, you know, pay attention to the comments. And yeah, thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I hope I'll see you soon.